Hosts will be able to nominate a named Ukrainian refugee or family to stay with them in their home for a minimum of 6 months. Those offering a place to stay will be vetted, with Ukrainian applicants also undergoing security checks. Hosts will receive £350 a month, while local authorities will get £10,500 per refugee for support services. The second phase of the scheme will see organisations able to sponsor groups of refugees, but no start time has been announced for that scheme. The Health Secretary told Sky News there's no limit on the number of refugees who can enter through this sponsorship scheme.
There's no cap, and there shouldn't be, because we don't know sadly where this war is going to end. We've seen that there's already millions of refugees. There will be many more, but it's an open offer for any British family to extend its hand and offer shelter and support.
Well, our political correspondent Tamara Cohen joins us now from Westminster. And Tamara, there has been criticism of the government that it has acted a little slowly to try to help Ukrainian refugees who want to come to the UK, and this appears to be their answer.
That's right. So far people have been coming on the family scheme, joining a family member, and that should really pick up pace from tomorrow, because that's when people will no longer have to show their details at an application centre. They can simply apply online. But this new scheme is for British families who have a spare room or even a spare property that they're not using to be able to put up refugees. We'll get details this afternoon from Michael Gove speaking to Parliament, but as I understand it, there'll be a website launched today for people who have properties to register an interest, and from Friday they can apply to actually host somebody. Now, they will need to have that person's name. This is a named person scheme, so this will be someone who they already know or have made contact with through an organisation. And when I put to people in government the criticism that's been made by the Refugee Council and others, that therefore this scheme will only be open to friends of people in Britain, they say that the idea is that the matchmaking aspect of it is not done by the government. It should hopefully be done by organisations here working with charities in Poland to match up people with the most appropriate families. So a charity working with orphans, for example, might have different matches to a different charity. So the idea is that's how it works, but we'll see how it pans out, because the government have never done anything on this scale before. What's required by the host families is a minimum 6 months commitment, and for that they will be paid a kind of thank you of £350 per month, regardless of how many people they take. Of course, there's going to be a role for local councils here, making sure that these vulnerable families are being looked after, have access to healthcare and to schools, but the people on that scheme will be able to work immediately, and the idea is that they can stay here for up to 3 years and try to rebuild their lives.
Tamara, thanks very much. Of course, we know that there has been a knock-on effect on the cost of fuel because of what is happening, plus other global events. Petrol prices here in the UK have hit a new record high. Figures show that the average cost of a litre of petrol on Sunday, yesterday, on UK forecourts, 163.5, and it's certainly a lot more expensive in some places. The average cost of a litre of diesel, 173.4, a new record high for petrol in the UK. Well, tomorrow night we'll be looking at how the war in Ukraine has affected the global economy. That's a special edition of Ian King Live, tomorrow at 9 o'clock. This is Sky News Today. Coming up, Sky News hears one refugee account of how he fled the besieged southeastern Ukrainian city of Mariupol.
face down.
It feels very close to the centre of... There's one.
They found this devastation to their apartment.
Lots of people live here. Quite a few of the windows of the houses have been blown out by the blast.
And it feels that it's changing each day.
Going on. I'm Alex Crawford and I'm Sky's special correspondent based in Istanbul.
This is what makes the job so fantastic.
Well, staying with the war in Ukraine, a little earlier, Sky's Kimberly Leonard spoke to Roman Skalyarov, who fled the city of Mariupol with his mother and brother to the Ukrainian capital of Kiev. And he told her about his fears for his family.
We try to support each other in our family, and we hope that soon it will be finished and we can come back to our lives. And for this moment, we hope that Ukraine can win with this war.
And what is it like where you are, Roman, at the moment? We spoke to someone in Lviv earlier and they had air raid sirens all night. Do you have the same thing there?
Yeah, every day we hear that air sirens. Every day it's happening, but I nothing hear about what's happening in Mariupol only from news and the same other areas. For this moment, my place is near Kiev. It's like close to Borispol airport, and every day we hear that some fighter jets is flying around.
Do you have supplies? Are you able to get supplies where you are?
Yeah, at this moment, yes, and we hope it will be continued, and we can able to buy food and water. We still have water supply, so it's fine.
Now, you already fled Mariupol. You left your grandmother there. That's where you're from. Do you think that you're going to have... Do you worry, Roman, that you're going to have to flee again? You're with your mother and your brother, right?
Yes, it's true. And every day we try to call to my grandma and all of my friends there, and still no any connection. But I hear that some people can have a connection, had a call, and it's optimistic sign that somebody still there and they catch this connection. So we hope if it's finished, we can come back to check what's going on, and our relatives is still alive.
Let's get a look at the weather.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
It's going to be calmer today and fine for many, but there'll be showery rain in the north and a few showers elsewhere. Most places will be quite mild, and with generally light winds, it should feel pleasantly warm in the sunshine. Scotland and northern England will see cloud and showery rain spreading from the west this afternoon, although northeast Scotland will be fine into the evening. Southwest Scotland and northwest England will slowly brighten up. Elsewhere, it'll be mainly dry with good spells of sunshine, but there'll be a few heavy showers in the south. They will largely fade later. Northern Ireland can expect a few early showers as well. North East Scotland will see increasingly light and patchy rain moving through tonight, largely clearing by midnight. Most places will then be dry, but the odd shower may linger in the south. The far northwest will turn wet and windy later. Long clear spells and mostly light winds will bring a patchy frost and some fog. Tuesday, fine, dry and mild for most, and it's going to be wet and windy if you're in the northwest.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Now, at least 2 people have died and 3 others have been wounded after a Russian explosive hit a residential building in Kiev. Sky's special correspondent Alex Crawford is live for us in the capital now. Alex, just talk us through what you've seen there today.
Well, this happened about half an hour ago. We're told by local eyewitnesses that some sort of missile was incoming. It appeared to have been intercepted, but landed, the debris landed on this tram and taxi. We understand from the ambulances that at least 1 person have died, but someone who we met earlier on at the previous hit site is local MP Alex Goncharenko. Alex, first of all, what do you think has happened here?
That's this terror again. This time it is a missile attack. You can see the rests of missile. Once again, absolutely civilian area, like the first place.
And quite close, right? It's only about 3 kilometers away from the residential apartments?
Yes. Probably it is 1 battery of things like this, I don't know. And you see that number of victims could be much higher, because the place where missile hit is just 3-4 meters from this building, residential building. So 3-4 meters to the right, and all this building will be destroyed, and there are people inside. So this 1 man killed, man of 1962 year. He was born in 1962. He was 39. 59. Sorry. And but he was just he was passing. That's just accidentally. But 4 meters to right, many more people will be killed.
What do you make of these tactics? And do you sense that Kiev, the capital city, is coming under more and more attack? It seems to me, I mean, all I'm hearing this morning is air raid sirens.
3 attacks today. The third was in Antonov factory. As I know, there were no killed there, fortunately. But still, we have 3 killed today, more than those and wounded, and it's just one morning, and I think it's just start. So we need to stop it as soon as we can. We need really to provide Ukraine with the air defense systems, aircraft, just to stop this horror.
I've asked you this before, but why would that make so much difference?
Because it's people's life. It's hundreds of people who will be saved if we will be provided with air defense aircrafts just for our army to help and to defend people. And also that's happened here in Kiev. If we will not stop Putin, tomorrow it will be Warsaw. Tomorrow it will be Riga. And I don't know what will be next.
And what do you make of these tactics? I mean, we've heard President Zelensky saying there's no way they'll be able to take the capital city, but from us inside the capital city, it certainly feels they're making edges and they're coming closer.
They're trying to encircle Kiev. They're trying, but I'm also sure.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and this is Okay, don't you cry. Everything is gonna be alright. And that is how I want to welcome you all to the Monday edition of the morning show. This is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 14th day of the third month, the 14th day of March, the year 2022. And the time now is 10:38 from the hearts of London. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But before I continue, let me acknowledge the first person who joined us on the broadcast, in the person of Ade Adetunji. Hello and good morning to you, and to the one and only Terry Omo Alade. Eku Eto. Yes. Eku Eto to you as well. I hope you are doing very well. Massive good morning. But like my normal salutations will go, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. And those of you on other planets as well, we want to salute you all and we want to welcome you to the Monday edition of the morning show. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Well, let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and H.R.H. Linda Palian, Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, I salute you, sir. I hope you are doing very well. Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, good morning to you. And to all our wonderful listeners, those of you in the UK, those of you in America, okay, in Canada, and those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia, and on the African continent, especially my lovely listeners in Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana. Wherever you all are, massive good morning to you all. I salute you and welcome on board. As I'll say all the time, if you are standing, hold on to something. If you are sitting, sit very comfortably. It could be a bit bumpy, but be rest assured, I'm in the helm of affairs here, and I'm going to make sure that I take you to your destination in perfect peace. So once again, welcome. But let me say good morning and Ekueto to Kahins Sahid. But for those of you who have just joined us for the first time, Erajua, hey, good morning to you, Erajua. I hope you are doing very well and the family as well. My regards to every one of them. For those of you who have joined us for the first time on Monday for the morning show, this is how the program goes on Mondays. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update will follow as well. From there, we'll have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then at 11 o'clock exactly, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki all the way from our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria. From then, we'll continue with the discussions, looking at other stories making the rounds across the globe. As I said, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, it's making the headlines. Why not? We're going to be touching on that. Then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Well, that will continue until 12:30 when we cross over to Cyprus, where we'll be having the one and only Linda Palian joining us there. Okay, so then at 1 o'clock, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to be happening today on the morning show. So welcome on board once again. Get yourself a hot or cold drink wherever it's appropriate. This is a flight that when you come on board, you serve yourself, get whatever you want, and make sure that we travel in peace. Perfect peace, of course. Playing in the background, something from Akase Brimpong. Okay, the quote for the day says, if the foundation is not well built, the building has little hope of surviving in the midst of a challenge. So I say it all the time, make sure that the foundation is built. The good book says, if the foundation be destroyed, what would the righteous do? And I say it all the time, the righteous shouldn't sit down for the foundation to be destroyed before they think of what to do. We have to make sure we protect the foundation if it has been well laid. If not, we lay it well before we put the structures on. Alright then. So I've been up preaching for you there. Let me say a big amen. Amen. Church is over. We're playing in the background. I can see Brimpong say everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Especially symphonic type of that music. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Don't you know? Now moving on straight to the weather front. Let's look at the weather. What is happening here in the UK and other parts of the world, which I will want you to do that for me. Okay, so when it comes to the UK front as a whole, now today cloudy skies are expected in the north with showery rain pushing eastwards through the day. Now southern areas will be drier and brighter, although cloud will move in this morning with showers. Tonight, showery rain ends in the north early, followed by clearing. Now, cloud will move into western areas by dawn and make some clear spells and cloud for the south, along with a few light showers for some there as well. When it comes to the temperatures, the top temperature for London and the southeast of England is going to be 13 degrees. The lowest is going to be 4 degrees. Now, this afternoon will be mostly dry with sunny spells for those of us in the south. And this evening will start largely cloudy but dry in the second half of the night. Cloud will start to break, allowing for clear spells. A chilly night expected as well. Now, when it comes to UV level, it's going to be low. Pollution is going to be low as well. Sunset 18:03 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:18 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today, Monday, the 14th day of March, the year 2022. What the time now? Exactly 10:44. We'll take a quick break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'm keeping navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio travel update. I can see where every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:45. Okay, so moving on the underground this morning, the Bakerloo line has got delays between Harrow and Wilston and Stonebridge Park while they fix a faulty train at Harrow and Wilston. Good service on the rest of the line. Now, when it comes to the Northern Line, as we know, from Saturday the 15th of January until mid-May, there are some delays there, and therefore some upgrade work going on there. So you have to travel via some bus route 733. So if you're traveling that way, check it before you leave. But no service between Archway and High Barnet while they respond to a fire alert at Finchley Central. No service until mid-May 2022 between Kennington and Moorgate due to planned engineering works. That aside, all the others have got good service. Now, London Overground TFL Rail, DLR, London Tramlink, good service. Now, keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. Also, keep it navigated, I promise, our bond. Now, when it comes to the riverbank this morning, apart from the Woolwich Railway that is suspended, all the others have got what? Good service. And let's move on to the National Rail. On the National Rail, First Trans-Pennine Express, Gatwick Express, the Great Northern, Great Western Railway, Great Anglia have all got what? Special service. Now, ScotRail, Southern, Thameslink, and Transport for Wales have also got special service. That aside, all the others, good service. But keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the road as to keep you navigated, I promise, our bond. Now, moving on to the final segment of the travel update, that is the major roads in London. Now, A10 has got closures, A316 closures, A4 closures, Central London Red Routes closures, and South Circular, my apologies, South Circular, yes, Central London Red Routes closures, A21 has got serious delays. If you can avoid that, do your best to avoid that. But let me tell you about the A21. Southbound traffic along Lewisham High Street is slow on approach with queues from Moldwell Street, eastbound Ladywell Road, westbound traffic is slow moving on Cow Hill Road from Heather Green Lane. Expect delays, okay? So if you can avoid it, do your best to avoid that. It's all due to some works going on there and the installation of temporary traffic lights. So on that note, well, as I would say all the time, well. Check it out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. You know what? Enjoy your comedy for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 10:50 exactly. Yes, 10 minutes to the top of the hour. In the next 10 minutes, we'll be having Miss Olayomi joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. So don't you go away. But I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Okay, so now global trotting. Let's see what is happening from across the globe and some of the issues that we'll be discussing during the course of the program as well. Some. All right then. Yeah, as I said, if it's making the headlines, we're gonna make sure we touch on it. Okay, so no cap on Ukraine refugees and the UK scheme. Javid says it's hoped tens of thousands of displaced people will benefit from the plan the government has set. And Ukrainian children flown to UK for cancer treatment. That's some of the stories making the rounds. Now, delaying national insurance rights, no problem. Sir Charlie Bean, who recently left the office of the budget responsibility, says the move could be delayed. Of course, I'm looking at the high cost of living, looking at the rise in fuel prices and energy prices and everything. I think it's about time that they shelve some of these issues until further notice when we see things. But you know, I'm asking the question this morning. Do you think that, well, offering you 350 as a thank you, you open your doors for our desperate people or brothers? I say everybody, no matter creed, color, or shade. I don't give a monkeys with that. But I think that with the desperation that's going on in Ukraine at the moment, whether it's their fault, whether it's not their fault, the fact that ordinary people have been displaced and the desperation that is following that, would you open your doors to get someone in and get a thank you from government of £350 a month? What do you think? That is an interesting one. Would that tease you? Do you have a spare room that can go for somebody? Well, okay, so we'll be looking into that as well. I want to have your take on that. Northern Ireland school children carried in bags compartment. Now, Career Translink apologizes and says an investigation is underway into the incident in Londonderry. Wow, they put some of the children in the bag compartment. Oh my goodness. I remember back in the day when we were growing up, my dad, when we were going to church on Sundays, because my dad was a pastor at the time, and then we have a new church, and then we have to go in we had a VW camper van. Okay, that's good, but it's not got all that top bits. No. It's just a normal VW bus. Okay, and then I'm talking about the 70s. Okay, we were little, so we when we go in, we would love to see that at the back, those the VW, the back compartment. So they shut the wood like that. We sit there, though it's all open, but the back has got a bit of this in the way because the engine is underneath that. Then we sit at the back there. I think if it was this time, I think the police would have arrested my parents. But we enjoyed because there were lots of adults in the van as well, taking us all to the church where we were fellowshipping. We had to go from a point to central of Accra, where we normally had church service. So but well, it happened this time around, and we say hey, we crying foul. I enjoyed that, my goodness, because I had got the tambourine and some of the instruments. That's how I learned to play some of the instruments. Because when I sit at the back, comfortable, myself and my younger brother, and then we sat there, the two of us, and then we playing it, and it was enjoying. Okay, but well, here it is a crime. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on to some part of the world. Look at what is happening there. Of course, the story that's making the most rounds for the past 3 weeks has been Russia strikes Kyiv flat as talks resume. Negotiators are aiming to halt the fighting as pressure on Ukraine's capital intensifies. But yesterday there was a blast that was closer to the Polish border on a military, call it a military camp or a military site. Well, there have been accusations that Russia is just trying to tell the NATO that, hey, set up, we come into the next territory. And some people have called the stance by the US as a weak stand, especially the president Biden, thinking that Biden should also unleash his venom against and dare Russia and just get on with whatever and see whether that will not stop him. But because they think that, well, he's welding nuclear, and therefore he can just be left to do whatever he wants to do because of the fact that they don't want to have a direct combat with the Russians. Do you think that's going far enough? After that, if they decide to take Poland, after that, if they decide to take Latvia and the neighboring countries or the bordering countries who are part of NATO, what would they do? That one too, would they say that, well, it's okay, it's NATO though, but it's part of NATO though, but we don't want to have a direct combat with them, and therefore we're going to supply arms to those particular those sovereign states to fight them? We want to know more about that. I want to know what you think. But well, it is all Starr Radio UK. Now, US wants China against helping Russia in Ukraine, but the Chinese have come to debunk that story, saying that, well, Russia has not asked us for any arms or any military aid there. Now, Ukraine accuses Russia of abducting second mayor as well. The news comes as Ukraine says Russia is trying to create a pseudo republics to break up the country. Well, is it Mariupol where they captured the mayor there? They've installed one their own mayor there. But so I asked myself the question, if a truce is found, what is going to happen? Will Russia leave the whole of Ukraine, go back to Russia? Well, I mean, look at the persona of Putin, okay? The image that he's created for himself, the macho man. Do you think that will not dent that image, and therefore he will think that no, even if they call it truce, are we still going to be remaining there? What do you think? I want to have your take on that when we come to that front. But moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds. In the next few minutes, we're going to be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Now, Algeria president bans export of food. Now, President Abdelmadjid Tebboune says exporting commodities not produced locally is economic sabotage. Wow. Exporting commodities not produced locally is economic sabotage. What does it mean by that? Which African countries, I mean, when you look at Ghana, you look at Nigeria, we are exporting lots of it. Is it not something to bring in or rake in foreign currency for us? Or, okay. And now, Kenyatta backs ex-rival Odinga for president. The Kenyan president told supporters in Nairobi that he had no doubt that Ms. Odinga was team captain. So, Now, truce has been called. I mean, he's been advised for some time now. Anything that is about time, let him also rules out. And maybe that will appease the people of Kenya or the various parties. And we know that, okay, this time round, this one comes on. Another time round, this one comes on. Provided there's not going to be a break of that agreement. Well, but in Ghana, you can't trust that. Former Zambian President Banda dies at 85. Rupiah Banda service to the country was the highest form of patriotism, the current president has said. And South African anger being felt by foreigners. Support seems to be growing for two groups who are campaigning against undocumented foreign nationals. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 75 killed in DR Congo. Train crash. Hundreds of stowaways were on board the freight train which crashed in the southeastern village of Bujofwe. Okay, it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Still on the African continent, Tunisia opposition holds protests against President Said's power grab. How far would that go? Yeah, we'll be telling you more about that. When it comes to Nigeria, Omoyele Sowore says no matter the threat from government and his agents, we are not backing down. We will be as bones sat horizontally in their throats. Why is he saying that? We know that he's thrown his hat in to the ring for the coming election 2023. If it has happened, what do you think? You think that maybe government is trying to suss upon him there? But what do you think? Now, fresh facts have emerged on how suspended Super Cop and former commander of the intelligence response team, DCP Abba Kairi, as well as his deputy ACP Sunday Ubua, allegedly received a combined 4.2 billion naira. We'll be telling you more about that once we have Mr. Olayomi on. I'm moving on straight to Ghana as well. Another gory accident kills 5 on Accra Kumasi Highway. Yes, over the weekend there were gory accidents that have taken lots of lives there. But people are not angry enough. I mean, all people are going to travel, all that they have to do, oh, pray. Oh, God, please protect us. God, please protect us. And then, if you are fortunate to get to your destination, oh, God, thank you. Yes, I believe in God. I'm a faith person. But when things are supposed to be done by our government, when we pay our taxes and we expect that the right things are done and they are not done, and those who have been put in place to see to it that, checks and the checks on the roads and stuff are done, and they are not, and just taking bribes and stuff like that, and you have motor accidents happening and taking life, then I think it's about time people get angry. As they got angry about the LGBTQI plus situation that was going on now. I think that it's about time that people rise up to that occasion. But this all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Agwangwagwin said, I urge MPs to go to court over Deputy Speaker's voting right on February 15th. Well, a lot more going to be coming your way from there. It is Starr Radio UK, a minute after 11. Enjoy the rest of this music, and we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining in. Stay tuned, and don't you go away.
On your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up? Everybody say now. If you're a player part, every little say it again, say it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harrison, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker, Baba from Girls. We're here. It's Starr Radio, London, UK. London, we call them London for who? Well, yeah, we call them London. That's how we, have fun, stay blessed.
soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Now everybody say now, leave your round pay your part. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Now everybody say now, leave your round pay your part. Every little thing is gonna be alright. One more time, say don't you leave your round. Every little thing. Here we go. Can I get Symphonic to try something tonight? Can I get you to try something tonight? Are you ready? Alright.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Left to the right, everybody. Everybody say now. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, everybody. Everybody say to the left, to the right, left to the right, everybody. Everybody say now. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, everybody.
Yeah, don't you cry. Everything is gonna be alright. Some way, somehow, they do get alright. And let me say good morning to Amaya Jergene. Yes, good morning. I hope you are doing very well. Had a very nice weekend. But hey, listeners, wherever you are, I've got a man himself, Mr. Olayomi, who has joined us this morning. And I can tell you that shortly that everything's gonna be alright because we had a very calm weekend, whatever it is. But stay tuned, don't you go away. And Yomi, let me say a massive good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners from around the globe, and welcome once again to Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and it's good to be back again after a very beautiful long weekend. But like we always say, let's give thanks for those of us that are here alive as we continue to monitor all the situation around the globe this Monday morning, the 14th of March 2022.
Yes. How was your weekend?
Well, it was a very and likewise a brilliant one because the little.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. I think Miss Limey Koki's line is having a bit of a hiccup there. Okay, now I think it's back on. Yomi, yeah, what were you saying? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it was a very beautiful weekend, like I was saying earlier, and as usual, we give thanks, to the Creator, because as long as we're still alive, we need to continue, to give thanks. If you just take me off for a few seconds, so that we can get the laptop.
Yes.
So,
yes, listeners, just bear with us whilst Yomi gets himself set up once again. Well, there are lots of stories that is making the rounds, but those of you who listen to us from Nigeria, and especially those of you on the African continent who listen to us daily, watching us, I salute you all the time, and I'll continue to do so because I know it causes you an arm and a leg to do so, but you continue to do it religiously, and I salute you. I dock my heart out to you all, and once again, welcome. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. In our North London studios, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, and the South studios here, I am Archie. Now let's move on with some of the stories making the rounds. International Council for Yoruba's Rights. Can you guess? England, UK, Wales, and Ireland amalgamated in 1536 by King Henry VIII until 1922, when each country acclaimed its self-reliance without opposition. So, can any daft tell me where problems in Ododuwa and Biafra people live in Nigeria is? Now, interesting article, because we've been talking about this. I know there are some people who advocate for unity. They said that in unity there is strength. But again, when an amalgamation or when a marriage is seen not to be working, what do? Do we still stay there until maybe the wife or whoever is unleashing the venom or the anger or the whatever bad stuff onto the others is done before we make a move? by that time, people would have lost their lives. People would have, his life would have been destroyed totally. Take for example what is happening in Ukraine at the moment. So, it escalates to that point where people are just destroying, killing. What is going on? Do you think that would be okay for you? I want you to share your take with us. But Yomi, that's a nice post there. Now people are thinking that, well, if the Yorubas and the Biafrans think that it's about time to leave, then they should be given the opportunity to do so, because after all, we've seen it, the same thing happening. Now, a quick one on that.
Well, we do have quite a lot of, because the social media has become the tools and the engagement, for the those that believe that, that's the only way we can communicate the message out. So what you were actually reading came from one of the, those in support of the disintegration peacefully of Nigeria. It's called the International at Ilano, which is the just as many of those individuals that set this up. This is Ilana _ Omo Odua, also known as the International Council for the Yoruba Right. And what you were actually reading there was a post that came out some 3 hours ago that was kind of giving us how the whole of Wales, England and Scotland was amalgamated in the same way Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914. But the difference is, these were amalgamated in 1536 by King Henry until 1922, just about some few years after the amalgamation of a country called Nigeria today, and they were still now able to claim back, their self-reliance. I was listening to Nicola Sturgeon last week, and she did say, she will still go ahead with an independent Scotland, and for so many reasons, so that they can have a better say, especially in a situation like the crisis happening in Ukraine at the moment. They can be able to determine would they want to come in terms of refugee and some other areas as well. So these are part of the communication and conversation that goes online, especially with Twitter and the other social media handle. And that will just quickly go straight into a post I picked up as well, which is again linked to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We do know is presently in the captivity of the DSS after a kidnap rendition back to Nigeria last year. But the argument that this individual put out, which I'm going to read out quickly as well, is in terms of who are Nigerians and what is Nigeria and what is the language of Nigeria. But this is how that post came out at the early hours of this morning with some of the Biafran TV network social media handle as well that I was able to pick up before we go into some of the other airlines. But I can also confirm that there's an image coming out from the court where Abba Kyari's wife slumped, and I can see the image of her being moved probably maybe to the nearest hospital. We'll be discussing that when I come back. But let me quickly touch on the Nnamdi Kanu story that I picked up before we move further. According to the write-up, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu asked these questions, and we are still waiting for answers. Superior argument. I need a genuinely educated and intelligent Nigerian professor to answer the following questions for me. What was the name of Nigeria before the amalgamation of 1914 with a question mark? If you debate me on the issue and you last more than 2 minutes, I would abandon Biafra, according to the write-up. What was the nationality of our projectinator, Frederick Lugard, amalgamated in 1914? Number 3, if Nigeria is 60-year-old on 1st October 2020 and your father or mother is 61 years, what nationality was she or he before he or she became a one Nigerian in 1960 with a question mark? And the number 4, the final one, says, what was Obasanjo's nationality before independence in 1960, again with a question mark, with again hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu.
Well, listeners, that's quite an interesting piece that Yomi has put across, or has been put across on the social media platform that we've touched on this morning. But it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, but let's quickly touch. Let me read this comment first from Amayo. He says Yoruba had been a nation before Nigeria, and it goes on further to say the civil unrest in Nigeria is more than Western promote war, more than the Western promote war between Russia and Ukraine. Now he's looking at it that there's worse things going on, but for the fact that we don't have a reportage as we are having in about the issue that's going on, the war in Ukraine, that's why we don't see the distraction that is going on. But well, somebody will say that, well, if there is worse thing like that happening, people would have said it or sent people down to cover it. But I hope that it's not as bad as it seems to be. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just bear with us. You know that we are doing some of the broadcasts, picking live from home, and therefore at times we have our people coming in bringing us information and stuff like that with our production team. So please just bear with us when you see anything of the sort going on. But yeah, when Yomi comes back, we're going to be looking at the NDLEA tracing 4.2 billion to Abakari co-accused account. The fresh facts have emerged on how suspended Super Cop and former commander of the intelligence response team, DCP Abakari, as well as his deputy ACP Sunday Ubua, allegedly received a combined amount of 4.2 billion naira from their separate bank accounts. Now, interestingly, the question is, you know, when it comes to this part of the world, when people are supposed, people have some funds coming in. Definitely you just expose yourself to some investigation. Straight on, and so that's been the. But why why now? Or somebody will, again asking that question, somebody will say that, well, you know, the system doesn't work the same way as, so here we have everything networked together, and therefore if the moment you punch my name in there, they will know which accounts that I have and know all the transactions that I have been involved in. However, it is not so when it comes to our part of the world because of the development that is going on. I know that we can do better, but at times people deliberately put impediments away so that we don't get there. But Abakari, 4.2 billion naira with his cohort or his partner in crime, his PIC. But Ajani Ajala says anybody who is in Jesus creates a new creation. The old things are passed away. Okay, Ajani, he's saying that maybe he's talking about the fact that in Nigeria maybe the old one has passed away. I'm just speculating. That's not what he said. He's not throwing any giving any details on that. So let's move on. Thank you very much, Ajani Ajala. Now, Yomi, so Abakari, 4.2 billion. Now, how come that it's now that they found out that such an amount has been shared between himself and his partner in crime?
It's someone that had a case, already, and that case was being investigated. But the question is, that case was not going as a lot of Nigerians would love to see until, these allegation of drug peddling, traveling from one continent to Nigeria, and he was involved. So yes, I'm sure during different inquiries and different investigation, that needs to now be part of what to be sent, or that was part of a report that has actually been sent to the AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, that there's an amount of figure of money to the tune of 4.2 billion that must have traveled through Abba Kyari, his deputy ACP Sunday Uba, who allegedly received a combined 4.2 billion. The question is, with the nature of what the job that they do as a police command intelligent response team, could they have other expenses that allow this kind of money to go through their account? But again, Nigerians would have to wait and see, what will be the outcome. Abba Kyari and Uba may have received far more than less than 2.8 billion was traced to his 8 bank account. He's operating about almost 8 bank accounts, and likewise, according to investigation, Uba allegedly received a lump of 2.66 billion alone in August 15, 2019. The NDLA is now working on the assumption that the sum traced to Abba Kyari and his deputy total, which is quite a lot of money. But the question then again is, are we going to see, an end to this, or is this just going to be something that will be dragged again, just as we've seen? But like I said earlier, according to what I've just picked up on the news coming from Abuja in the court this morning, the moment Abba Kyari's wife slumped in the court, and she's been moved from the video I'm looking right in front of me.
Now, interestingly, with that story, so how is the Abba Kyari case going in total? Do you think, as a whole, do you think that they are going to, send him to the U.S. At the request? We know that the United States are looking for him due to some drugs issue there. Are they going to send him to the U.S. to face the rigors of the law there, or what is going to happen?
Well, he's in court today, trying to get a bail application hearing, which I'm not sure he will be given that hearing. We saw, for the first time, an image of him, since he has been arrested, in the court. The question you ask is, whether, he will be returned back to America from further inquiries as requested, by the FBI. What we do know is, some few weeks earlier, the AGF, Abubakar Malami assured Nigerians that Abba Kyari, also known as the Super Cop, will be definitely, be extradited to the U.S. For that particular reason of his being asked to, attend, extraditory back to U.S. Based on the FBI versus Hush Puppy that we do know is currently ongoing. So we are hoping that how they're going to manage all this now is the question, because already now it's been pinned down for what we can call a drug allegation. It's already, there's a request of him to America, to come and give his own evidence or witness, to the allegation again, on him by Hush Puppy that was picked up from Dubai, due to money laundering. So quite a lot is on his head, but how he's going to manage all these, even though he's still claiming he's innocent.
Well, he's innocent and proven guilty, so you have to just allow him to plead his innocence in this case. So let's see what happens. Maybe the court or the laws will work the way they're supposed to. Somebody say the wheel of justice grinds slowly. So let's see what happens on that front. But Starr Radio UK 1120, the update from Nigeria on the morning show. Now let's move on straight to the ASUU strike. Now we know that students were threatening to also go on the streets if ASUU doesn't go. Government does not deal with ASUU for ASUU to come back to the lecture room to come and lecture, and therefore we'll see a bit of peace there. But I don't know whether that has been thrown out of the window or the students have calmed down. What is happening to the students before we come to ASUU? The latest about ASUU.
Well, maybe now that because I was looking at what was trending this morning. And ASUU, as I speak to you right now, is still trending as #1. And you can imagine, we have 60% of Nigerians, that are youth, and that means, the percentage of those that are currently not in school due to the ASUU strike is in large amount as well. We've not really seen much of what they say that we're going to do, the blockage of the road and such. Maybe in the hope that things will get normal, but it doesn't seem it's getting normal, because another 8 weeks, which is like another 2 months, has been added between ASUU and the federal government. I think we might have a sound bite for that. Let me see if I can pull that up, because this is what transpired over the weekend.
SANU members at the university system. SANU has employed all known peaceful means and acts aimed at making the federal government to honor and implement the various agreements, memorandum of understanding, reached with the unions to avert the looming danger, but all to no avail. Therefore, the union is left no other option than to totally, completely, comprehensively, and indefinitely shut down the universities.
Well, you've got it there. Totally, completely, indefinitely shut down the university. So that means more trouble as the federal government doesn't seem to be backing down. ASUU doesn't seem to be backing down, and that means more students will have to stay at home, or more might have to learn a job before returning back to the university.
Now, when it comes to education in Nigeria, we know that students have to pay their fees. Tuition fees for the universities. Now, if there is an extension, instead of them being there for, call it 3 years for a program, and then because of strikes and stuff like that, it extends to maybe 4 years. How is that dealt with? Do they have to pay the extra, or whatever they pay for that 3 years, that is what is going to take them through whatever 4 years or whatever time?
Well, if the money issue was just about it's not just about the money issue. It's about the timeline of your other peer groups around the globe that are also doing similar programs or similar courses as well. So if the university was on strike as it is now, so that means all the students are currently out of school, and whatever they've paid will still be as it is until the university return back. The only difference is the time frame that they lose out in terms of the period of time that the strike was ongoing. And we saw the last one lasted for almost a year, but we hope this will be resolved and the student will return back to to classes and lectures room as quickly as possible. But like I said, that doesn't seem to be going on at the moment because there's a loghead between the federal government. And this is what the other headline there says, we won't make gunpoint negotiation with ASU. This is coming out from the federal government of Nigeria. According to the report, the Federal Ministry of Education, that is meant to be the board and overseer of the Academic Staff Union of University that has been under duress, says, we will not enter any agreement with the Academic Staff Union of University under any duress. The ministry called on ASU to call off a strike so that we will not have gunpoint negotiations and make promises that we will not be able to fulfill. But the question is, for how long must promises be made and not fulfilled? Is the reason why these academic staff union are refusing to return back to lecture rooms.
So what has been the leadership of ASU? What have they actually said? Okay, maybe if government meets at halfway this particular place, we will then go in, because it looks like when they go for these negotiations, maybe they throw in, everybody throws what you cannot, if you ask government, we want 1 billion, they cannot say that we're going to give you 1 billion, because other associations or others workers will also come in and throw their requests. So government has to be a bit diplomatic in how to negotiate all these things. So what has been they are finding out that if you get to this point, we are going to agree to that, and government say no, we can't do that. What has been that?
I think the question is, the government have not really, given exactly, what they want, and that is the reason why, we're still experiencing this. I'm just privy to looking at in front of me, the press release that says deceit from is informing the public. Utah's test still ongoing on. So okay, the 1 month road strike declared by our union on the 14th of February has entered the 4th week. During the period, we have been having engagement with the government over the contended issues that necessitate actions. What are these contended issues? It involves a lot of things, but the question is, whether both parties can really come under a roundtable conversation, see what it's about the give and take. But I'm not sure this is going to happen. And the people that is going to suffer this are the students themselves.
Well, Amaya says Nigeria is a joke. Now, what do you think? It is Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria. 11:27 the time. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, I'm just also getting a comment here says, the police plan to go on strike too on March 26th. I do also know that the airport is having a lot of, I'm talking about the airport in Nigeria due to this, crisis of the fuel. But I'm having, there's a information coming out that maybe in the next couple of weeks, if care is not taken, some of those aircraft might not be able to fly out of the Lagos Muritala Mohammed Airport because of the situation in terms of crisis of the fuel as well. Likewise, yesterday, a pastor of a church was arrested concealing illicit drug at the Lagos Muritala Mohammed Airport on his way to Kenya for a crusade. He did say after he was stopped that he needed that for his own purpose and his own personal use. According to the headline, before we go straight to some of the other stories that we have, operatives of the National Drug Enforcement Agency have arrested Pastor Reverend Uguchukwu Emmanuel Ikwen at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Ikeja, allegedly with 54 sticks of cannabis wrapped around his body. and he did say he needed that for his own personal consumption. Like I said, there's quite a lot in terms of the airport itself. Again, let's now go straight to some other headline because of the time factor this morning as well. The time now is exactly 28 minutes past 11. Buni may head APC convention uncertainty surrounding the zoning. So that is still ongoing regarding the APC crisis that we were discussing last week. Good news: 31 Nigerians arrived from Romania. That is also coming from that headline this morning as well. We're going to take a couple of them from the business section and then slightly come back again to you in the studio. Like I said again, because of the time constraint this morning, it is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London as we continue to review all the news coming out of Nigeria. Quite a lot of negotiation with the Labour on fuel subsidy removal still ongoing, according to the headline by the federal government as well. Federal government inaugurated 35-acre Imo farm estate, engage about 1,000 farmers. Bakers threaten shutdown as diesel price now and others. So you can see that I did talk about it last week, that in the next couple of weeks, the effect of what is happening, especially in Russia and Ukraine, is also having a big impact. So bakers, that means prices of bread is going to go up, and bakers under the aegis of Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria are mulling a total shutdown of operations following steady and fast increase in the price of diesel in the last few days. Some have been paying up to 750 naira per liter for a diesel, so quite a lot of a big price. The association said the continued rise in price of diesel had made the price of the commodity to be doubled, warning that a total shutdown of operation by breaker makers was imminent. So that is about it. Again, let me come back again to you slightly in the studio. This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, you are listening to Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie in the South studios here, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria on the morning show. Amayo says Nigeria is fantastically corrupt. David Cameron, Nigeria said Nigeria is asshole country. That's what. Okay, David Cameron says Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, and Donald Trump says Nigeria is asshole country. Now he continues to say a new day, new shame is the state of Nigeria, and put a laughing emoji there. Well, what do you think about every discussion that we've had this morning? We want to know more about what you think. Now, before we move on to what is happening on the social media platform. Okay, Amayo says this is what happened when scammers are appointed to run a country. We've been asking the question. At the moment we have Ododoa, let's say the Yoruba nation, okay, and we have the Biafran nation. I mean, let's be optimistic and let's see something like that happen. Now, what do you think? Are we going to see different people behaving different ways? Are some of these people behaving this way? Not our own people still behaving that way, or is it only the Northerners who have come to the South to behave that way as well? So, do we have a way or shape of to change our thoughts before even we get to that destination that we are calling for? I wanted to add a voice to that discussion. It's quite an interesting one. But let's come back to some of the updates from Nnamdi Kanu. What is his case now? Where has we got to? And then let's look at Sunday Igboho. Where have we got to? And then finally we come to Sowore, who is saying that, well, he's going to be a lock in the throat, sitting horizontally in the throat of the authorities. Why is he making that statement?
Well, Sowore, as we know, is someone that has been pinned down. Let's put it that way. In Abuja, he hasn't been able to leave Abuja, even though he's now put his interest how that is going to be done, since he's not allowed to leave Abuja. But he's already contesting. Maybe he's going to have to do most of his campaign through the Zoom, because if he has to travel around, he won't be able to do so presently. Yes, from what he posted out, no matter the threat from the government and its agents, we are not backing down. We will be bones sat horizontally in their throat. And there's a particular song that I saw him, this is been some few weeks back, between him and some of his friends that were sitting there and saying, Suwe, Suwe, it's become like a ringtone. I believe when we look at, the case of Omoyele Sowore, is somebody that the government, because of his media platform, Sahara Reporter, and he has been using that, for almost some years now to fight back the corruption and a lot of, different, malpractice and, genocide and human rights abuses in Nigeria. So the government are kind of a bit worried, and not just the government, almost everybody as well that is also worried as well. So, but the question is, let's look at even what he posted, about 2 hours ago, when he says Professor Yomi Osibajo we're looking at maybe he might be also putting out information to say he will be contesting. So Sowore is somebody of interest to the government, but the question is, can the government really, deal with Sowore, as a lot of people are saying?
Yes, listeners, just bear with us. I told you my little man is there seeing to the production. So as and when he has any information that he needs to give to Mr. Olayomi Koiki, he has to make sure he brings that. He doesn't want us to miss a thing on that one. Okay, now a quick one on Sunday and Nnamdi.
Well, Nnamdi Kanu will be returning to the court in the next couple of weeks, I believe April. But the Biafra, as we know, on a Monday today, it's again a sit down at home. So it's called the autopilot. So the whole Southeast is completely shut down in terms of no movement. It's having a big impact, in Southeast, especially businesses lost. You thought maybe the banks will open. The banks are closed. Schools are closed. They have to literally switch Monday to Saturday schooling in the South.
Oh, wow.
As we speak.
Oh,
that
wow.
is how serious, this autopilot of people sitting down. I mean, as much as there's a crisis lingering between his followers, like we discussed, I believe, on Friday, between Simon Ekpa and some of the those that have had a lot of allegation of malpracticing as well and being a betrayer until they were trying to remove Nnamdi Kanu as the director of IPOB. But Biafra, stop begging Buhari government. Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. IPOB tells the southern leaders. That is the headline coming this morning. The indigenous people of Biafra has urged the southern leaders to stop begging the federal government to release his leader, even though the federal government, Buhari, is still here in London on a medical checkup, that we haven't got so much information. That he's gone very quiet since he's arrived a week ago yesterday now. IPOB said begging the federal government makes Kanu look guilty when he has committed no offense. This is coming from Emma Powerful, the spokesman of IPOB, was reacting to a call by the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum that Kanu should be released. So you can see that, as much as like we always discuss, the Ohanize went there to see Buhari. Buhari said he's going to allow the court, justice to prevail, but it seems the IPOB does not want the word begging, the federal government, which was almost similar to when moving to Chief Sunday. Igbowo, I've been speaking with him, for the last time. I mean, since he has been released on Monday, frequently. He's doing very well. There was a kind of a rumor, or a kind of an intelligent, probably maybe not a rumor, but let's say intelligent, over the weekend, that he was going to be picked up again, and that news went viral quickly because of the nature of who he is, and somebody that has spent 7 months in the hands of Benin Republic. But listening to one of our media colleagues in Scotland, where he hosted the leader of Ilana, which is the Professor Banji Akintoye, and the deputy, on his live broadcast yesterday, Sunday sermon, the assurance by Professor Akintoye says he was the one that Benin Republic hand over Chief Sunday Igboho to, and there's no concern to be worried at all. So that gives a bit of assurance, even though we gave those assurance as well. So coming out from the Alano himself, that he was the one that was hand over for Chief Sunday Igboho, and they also say that the Benin Republic still believe that they are still part of the Yoruba, even though they have their own separate sovereignty country. So you can see that these three individuals, Omoyele Sowore, Nnamdi Kanu, and Chief Sunday Igboho, are the major obstacle to a corrupt system that is worried in terms of their crowd that are being peeled. But like I said, Southeast today is a complete shutdown. Chief Sunday Igboho is still relaxing with his family. Like I said, what Moye Sowore is still prepared to put his head in the ring with the Nigeria presidential election that will be given the couple of how many days from today when we look at the Star Radio UK time check, and then we go straight to the social media because of the time this morning. 11:38 already. We have about 333 days, 12 hours, 20 minutes, and the seconds goes down. So let's just go straight into the social media. According to some of the reaction of Nigerians on these collapse or faint by the wife of Abba Kyari, that slumped rather, Mo at Morris_Moyo says, I think she fainted when she heard the kind of money that were found in her husband's account. You can see that the reaction will be very, very different, especially let's look at ASU that is really trending, which is having big impact on so many Nigerian students that are currently not in school. And that's one of the reasons why most of them travel to places like Ukraine. But now that Ukraine is really under a terrible state, maybe they might have to find another situation. According to Me Gifty, you are not any int. It is your education they're fighting for. Students should choose a side and fight for that side relentlessly. What ASU is fighting for is for the good of the student. Are you satisfied with the standard of education in your university? This one say, Charles Patrick, Nigeria don't tire me. What is this ASU and federal government saga every year? Must we students be put to such treatment each year with a question mark? Double one. What is all this? It is true that when elephant fight, the ants suffer. We are the ants now. So you can see that a lot of Nigerians are really not pleased, especially with the situation. So we're going to take one more, come back straight to you in the studio. At Nuruddin 101 says, ASU are to blame. I don't know anything like federal government. You are really doing this for us, then you should let it go. We are grateful. Thank you. So you can see that there's a mixed reaction with Nigerian students with the current situation with ASU strike.
Well. Listeners, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Well, we brought you all that you need to know. Now you can continue to be with us, share your take with us. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, and I promise you I'm going to read that. But before you go, let me say thank you very much. But your final words before we take your leave.
Well, just stay tuned because you still have Archie and Frank that will be taking you through the rest of the segment. I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock same time to discuss more about the latest news on Nigeria. But for now, have a very good morning, good afternoon to those of you in Nigeria, and I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you very much. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 11:41, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show. I'm Archie. Before we continue, we'll take a commercial break, and I'll bring you some lovely tune that I've selected whilst we were doing that discussion. The living years. I mean, every generation blames the one before, but don't you worry. Let's take the commercial break. We'll be with you.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Every generation blames the one before.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And all of their frustrations beating on your door. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. All crumpled bits of paper perfect thoughts. Oh, still the conversations. I'm afraid it's only God. You say you just don't see it. He says it's perfect sense. You just can't get agreement in his present tense. Talk a different language, talking in defense. Say it loud, say it clear. You can listen as well as you.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone, broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
When we die, to admit we don't see eye to eye. So we open up a quarrel.
The best radio show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Sacrifice the future. It's the bitterness that lasts. So don't yield to the fortunes. Sometimes see us fade. Maybe new perspectives on a different day. And if you don't give up, don't give in, you may just be okay. Say it loud, say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear.
This is Starr Radio UK.
When we die, to admit we don't see eye to eye. Was another morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. I think I caught a spirit
lady that's in you. I'm sure I heard his echo in my baby's newborn tears. Wish that I'd have told him in the living years. Say it loud, say it clear.
Well, that is the living years. The living years. Every generation blames the one before. Who are you blaming? What are you doing yourself? Well, it's all coming away from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. A cover version by Johnson, Bradley Johnson. I hope you enjoyed it. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Pretty Gabriella. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Pretty. And thanks for sharing your testimony as well. Thank you. All right then. Now let's move on. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. It's Star Radio UK. Now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, but starting from home here in the UK. There's no cap on Ukraine refugees under UK scheme, Sajid Javid has said. The story says that, well, there will be no limit to the number of Ukrainian refugees who can live with the UK host families under a new visa scheme, the government has confirmed. It is hoped tens of thousands of displaced people, my apologies, will benefit from the Homes for Ukraine Refugee Scheme. The more details will be set out later before a website goes live for people to express an interest in helping. Now, hosts will receive £350 a month as a thank you from the government. Now, Health Secretary Sajid Javid said there will be no cap on the number of people who can be supported through the scheme. I am pleased that we're doing this because as a country we have a very proud record of offering sanctuary to people from wars and from conflicts, he added. The government has so far faced criticism, including from its own MPs, over the speed and scale of its response to the refugee crisis triggered by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Under the new scheme, people in the UK will be able to nominate an individual or family to stay with them rent-free or in another property for at least 6 months. Mr. Javid said once refugees arrive, they will be allowed to stay in the UK for at least 3 years. They will have access to NHS and other public services, and their children will be able to attend local schools. The local authorities will also receive 10,500 in extra funding per refugee for support services, with more for children of school age. Now that 10,500, is it for a year? Is it for the time span? So, you know, interesting times. Because I know some of the councils that have gone bust, that are actually scratching beneath the barrel to make sure that things are done. I was on my way this morning. I was looking at some areas and I was looking at some dirty pavements and stuff. And I was like, so what's exactly is happening here? Okay, it could be that, well, due to lack of funds, they've not been able to do the work. So if maybe they had 10 people who were cleaning the streets or particular areas, maybe they've now shelved it and reduced it to 5. So instead of a street to be cleaned maybe 2 times or 3 times in a week, now it's going to be cleaned maybe once a week or whatever schedule that they have adjusted such that they are able to accommodate. Now, so government is going to give them, is it 10,500 per refugee or per what? We want to know more, but I know for sure that the councils would have gotten more details on that front. But those are some of the stories making the rounds. But the question once again is, would you open your doors as a person, as for your home to be occupied or to give out for somebody who is in a desperate situation as such? It is Star Radio UK. Now, squatters occupy Russian oligarch's London mansion. And you know, some of the posters that they put on it, this property has been liberated. Who told you that it was? Now, squatters have occupied a central London mansion believed to belong to one of the oligarchs sanctioned by the UK government. Now, they have ripped Ukrainian flags over the Belgrave Square property and are encouraging members of the public to join in their protest. The property is believed to be owned by billionaire energy tycoon Oleg Deripaska, in an ally of Vladimir Putin. The police presence has gathered outside the property. It is thought that the squatters do not intend to live and sleep at the property, and that they are instead occupying it as a protest against Russian President Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So I can come and occupy your house as a protest as well. Okay, get ready, I'm coming. Now, Mr. Deripaska, founder of Metal and Hydropower Company (EN), has been under U.S. sanctions since 2018. As U.S. sanction since 2018 as a result of his alleged close relationship with the Kremlin. Now, 2006 High Court judgment revealed Mr. Deripaska was the beneficial owner of 5 Belgrave Square. The 7-bedroom house in one of London's most expensive neighborhoods also has a home cinema, a gym, and a Turkish steam bath. Oh man, that's a nice place to be. You know, the property had been bought through Revolot Limited, an offshore company incorporated in the British Virgin Islands. Now, Revolot Limited still owns the property. Land registry documents give Graham Bonham Carter the contact for Revolot. Now, 5 bank accounts held by him are subject to asset freezing. Others at the request of the National Crime Agency following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So, now the question that I've been asking myself, you look at what is happening with Chelsea Football Club and everything that is going on. My question is, now, so assuming Russia today decide that they want to back off, back out of Ukraine and say, okay, there's truce and therefore we are living. At least we've been able to achieve, as it was said earlier on. I think was it late last night. Information that was coming through was that Russia they were optimistic about a truce where Russia is saying that, well, they've put what they want on the table, their request on the table, and that is met. They will make sure that they recompense or pay for the reconstruction of Ukraine and all that bit, and then all the stuff that has gone on there. But my question is, will these oligarchs have their finances unfrozen, or how long is it going to go? How is it going to impact? I mean, because you take a typical example of the Chelsea FC. Now, how many people are working for Chelsea apart from the footballers, the administration? It is our own people who are working there. Are you getting it? So how are they going to be coping with all that? Because the other time, I think over the weekend, there was a story that was saying that even they couldn't have enough funds to buy fuel into their coach. Is it cutting your nose to spite your face? What exactly is going on? Well. It is all Starr Radio UK. Some will say it is sanctions, and therefore anything that will hurt the opponent or Russia in this case should be done. But what do you think? It is all Starr Radio UK. Now, delaying national insurance rights, no problem. So some information coming through. Maybe the national insurance rights is going to be halted. A senior official previously charged with vetting the Treasury plans has said that Rishi Sunak can afford to postpone April's tax rises. Now, Sir Charlie Bean, who recently left the Office of the Budget Responsibility, said the plan for an immediate rise may be political rather than economic. Now, April's national insurance rise will take the average worker $250 a year and raise costs for firms which hire staff. The Chancellor maintains that the priority has to be shrinking the deficit. Mr. Sunak said that requires hard work, prioritization, and willingness to make difficult and often unpopular arguments elsewhere. But Sir Charlie said there's no problem in the UK borrowing several billion pounds for one extra year. What you can't run is sustained large deficits, but the pace at which you close a deficit is basically a political judgment. The hikes, breaks, and manifesto pledge and spells the highest tax burden since 1950s. Critics include Those in Rishi Sunak's own party, MP John Redwood fears the hikes could sandbag the recovery. He is among those who have highlighted that the deficit has been closing faster than expected recently anyway, thanks to a stronger jobs recovery. But what do you think is going to happen? Will he pause it when it comes to his spring budget statement that will be announced in April? What do you think? Are they going to share some of the issues? I mean, when it comes to last week when I was having a chat with Kojo D or one of my panelists, one of them did say that, well, isn't that it's been shelved? I think it was Kojo D. He's saying that it's been shelved, and therefore some of them, especially when it comes to the energy sector, where we're looking at the reforms and the speed at which we were traveling, says that, well, either that some of them has to be shelved because under the circumstance that we find ourselves in, we don't think that we are in a place to make sure to do all those stuff and then still people living sort of comfortably. What do you think about that? I want to have your take on that. It is Star Radio UK. We're going to take a break soon, but that will be after this. And now me opening the lines. Let me open the lines first, and then we take a break. And once we come back, we continue with the show. But remember, exactly at 12:30, we'll be having HRH Linda Palian on Career 101. HRH Linda Palian on Career 101. I'll tell you more about what she's going to be talking about. If you are listening to us across the globe, it doesn't matter where you are. Whatever she says there applies. You need that. And with her books, those 3 books, oh my goodness, if you have your hands on one of them, you'll be seeing your job from when it comes to your employment or your profession, you see some improvement on that front. So make sure you get your hands on that. So the lines are open. Call us on 0208-133-2257 or 5802-08-133-2257 or 58. Now those of you in the US, Canada, South American area and the Caribbean, you can call us on 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can also text or WhatsApp at 07539661744 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and the email address is info@starradiouk.com. Stay tuned, don't you go away whilst we take this commercial break.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne.
Wow, amazing. One of the things that the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 3 minutes past the top of the hour at the time. Starr Radio UK. Yes, and the morning show, wherever you are, if you want to join in the conversation, yeah, we've got another 27 minutes for you to join in the conversation there as well before we bring HRH Linda Pallian on. So now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. As I said, now Russia strikes Kyiv flat as talks resume. The negotiators are aiming to halt the fighting as pressure on Ukraine's capital intensifies. To what end? To what end? To the what end? That is the question that everyone seems to be asking. How far is Russia going to go? At what point are they going to stop? Now, Russia and Ukraine representatives resume talks in a bid to end weeks of fighting. A spokesman for the Ukrainian president office hints at progress, saying Ukraine is pushing for an immediate ceasefire. But Russia continues its bombardment of many Ukrainian cities, with one person killed in a strike on a block of flats in the capital, Kyiv. Now, Russia's missile attacks on a military base near Poland on Sunday was an attempt to threaten NATO. Poland's deputy foreign minister is saying. Really? Do you think that is what is happening there? Now, some people have been calling the president of the United States of America weak because of his reaction to Russia's attacks in Ukraine, or invasion of Ukraine. And they are saying that, well, he should call it a bluff, whatever Putin is doing, and crack down, put boots on the ground and let them face. I mean, well, it's going to be a direct combat or whatever it is. I mean, they should just get on and do that. But what do you think? Well, information coming through now. Fresh stories coming through. Russian forces have damaged a high voltage line connecting the former nuclear plant at Chernobyl to the power grid. Ukraine's state energy company has said. This is just breaking story coming through. The damage apparently occurred soon after electricity supplies to the facility were restored. Now, Ukrenergo, Ukraine's state energy, Ukraine State Energy Company did not say whether the former nuclear plant had lost all external power as a result of the damage. The grid operator says a repair crew must be given immediate access to the site, which is occupied by Russian forces, to inspect any damage there. But as to whether they're going to do that, I don't know. And the repercussion, if people continue, I mean, living there, and we have all this, we have the nuclear site, anything going amiss, I mean, that's going to be lots and lots of troubles there. But it's All Starr Radio, okay? Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One of Kyiv's negotiators has shared an image of the talks between Ukraine and Russia, which have now entered their fourth round and are taking place via video call. Ukrainian officials, Mikhailo Podolyak, says both sides have now laid out their positions. Earlier, he said the latest talks would focus on establishing a ceasefire, the withdrawal of Russian troops, and security guarantees for Ukraine. What do you think? It's all coming away from Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, a sad one happened over the weekend where U.S. journalist Brent Renaud was killed in Ukraine. It is the first reported death of a foreign journalist covering the war in Ukraine. He was working for the Times newspaper. All right, then. And then, interestingly, U.S. is to ban Russia diamond and vodka imports. Right, you have been drinking the vodka. Are you now going to come out with your own vodka? I think there's going to be scarcity of vodka pretty soon. You know, those of you who drink vodka, you better get it. One of the musicians that I love his tune says that there's no beer in heaven. So those who drink it. Now, Texas plan to probe trans children's parents halted. Now, parents seeking gender transition for their children may not be investigated for so-called abuse. Now, at what point will you agree that your child who thinks that they are sex A or sex B will be allowed for you think that, okay, let's push them there? Why don't you leave them for them to be adults themselves and decide on whatever they want to do? I'm trying to be a bit listen here, because you might think that, no, there was a case that was going on here in the UK where this guy who trans into a lady later on was saying that if he had been from either man to woman or woman to man, whichever, and I was saying that he should have been given the like not be forced or accepted or whatever he was putting across. He thinks that he should have been cautioned more so that he wouldn't have acted. That now he regrets what he has done there. But what do you think? Well, Republicans are calling for Biden to send jets to Ukraine, but U.S. is wary of sending military aid to Ukraine for fear it's seen as direct involvement in war. Is Biden a coward? Well, let me know what you think about. It is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and therefore the NATO countries, and those, especially those who are bordering Ukraine at the moment, and those who were part of the USSR at the time, who are now republic states and are part of NATO. And what do you think is going on in their heads? If they are saying that, well, we don't want to bring our arms or our planes or stuff directly in combat with the against the Russians, if it happens that it travels to neighboring countries, what do you think is going to happen there? Well, I would love to know what you actually think. It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, World War in Ukraine, tore U.S.-Venezuela relationship? That's a question people are asking. The ban on Russian oil export is causing prices to surge, and leaders are revisiting some awkward friendships. So we know that they are approaching Venezuela to start to give them the green light to start pumping some more oil so that it can bring the prices down. I think Venezuela will say, hello, we are chilling out now. We're not going to be doing that. Whatever we are doing, we are going to just continue to produce. We can get some windfall from that. But what do you think? Are they going to? Is it a point where the West is going to say, or US is going to say, come on, okay, let Venezuela just get on? Has it gotten to that point yet? I would love to hear you. Honduran authorities burn 8 tons of cocaine. Authorities in Honduras destroy cocaine seized in various operations in the country since 2020. It's All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, every woman is capable of becoming a leader. Syrian refugees in Lebanon have elected women as leaders of some camps, breaking traditional social norms. Well, we hope that it transcends to other areas where we're going to be seeing more of this, especially last week when we were celebrating the International Women's Day, that we'll see our women propped up, pushed up, encouraged to go. I mean, they've got lots in them that they can, they can do wonders. Why not? Okay then. IS confirms leader's death and names successor. The USA's Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Kariyashi blew himself up during a raid in Syria last month. But, well, they've got him themselves a successor. Who is that person? I'll tell you sometime next week. But whatever it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Australia floods. I'm angry. It's happening again. Who is causing it? When it comes to the environment, what are we going to be doing about it? Is it time for us to just fold our arms or throw our arms in the air? With this person saying that, well, it is all done. That is the end of the show for us. So we have to now find our ways out wherever we're going to be going to. What do you think? Australia are reeling from one of the worst natural disasters, but many despair. At a sense of deja vu. It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. The kindness of Ukrainians saved my life. That's one story. From an airstrike bunker to his mom's relieved hugs, Shnu tells how he and his dog fled Ukraine to India, and how AAP rooted India Grand Old Party in Punjab. The Adam Admi party cashed in on discontent against established political players in Punjab election. The story says that, well, the party led nationally by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has governed the capital since 2013, but its first win outside the city, the landslide victory in Punjab, it won 92 out of the 117 assembly seats. Well, democracy is going on in other parts of the world, but other parts are thinking, no. What do you think? Well, let's now go to Africa as well, and let's see what is happening there. In Africa, Algeria's president has banned export of food. Why? I'm going to be bringing you more on that, but stay tuned whilst I bring that story up. Now, Algeria's president Abdelmajid Tebboune has banned the export of foodstuffs that the country imports. The state news agency has said the commodities include sugar, oil, pasta, semolina, and wheat derivatives. Now, a source is quoted by the agency as saying that the president called it economic sabotage to sell commodities that the country does not produce locally. So, are they taking a leaf from Nigeria's president's book? Now, the president's decision also bans importation of frozen meat products, agency said. Now, President Tebboune made the announcement after listening to a presentation by Trade and Agriculture Minister on the availability for food staples. Now, he did not give any reason for the ban, but it comes amid fears of a sharp increase in the global prices of basic food such as wheat because of the conflict in Ukraine, which is one of the world's biggest exporters. Algeria imports most of its foodstuff. There have been protests in the past over increase in food prices in the country. Last week, it did ban the export of wheat, flour, pasta, and pulses for 3 months. It is one of the largest importers of Ukrainian wheat. But what do you think is going to happen on that front? Well, Starr already okay. So on the African front, now reports from Burkina Faso says at least 13 security personnel were killed in an ambush by gunmen on Sunday. The attack took place near Tapako, town frequently targeted by Islamist militants. Now, earlier in the day, a bat hit a landmine near the town, killing 2 people. Burkina Faso military government has said its priority is to tackle a jihadist insurgency. Are they doing enough? That's the question that most people are asking. That is why when they came in, they had the support of the populace. But are they living up to that expectation? That's another question that's being asked. 60 minutes past the top of the hour at the time. The number of people known to have died in a train crash in Democratic Republic of Congo has risen to 75. The train derailed and fell into a ditch in the southeastern village of Buyofwe on Thursday. It was a freight service but carried hundreds of stowaways. The information ministry said 125 people were also injured when the train derailed because of a sudden track cut. Interesting. Who cut a truck? President Felix Tshisekedi, who is in Belgium capital Brussels for a medical checkup, has condoled the victims. Now, UN-sponsored Radio Okapi reports that among the injured were 4 children whose parents died on the spot. The train was made up of 15 wagons, 12 of them empty. The AFP news agency reports, quoting an official from the state railway company, the SNCC. The agency ranked the train incident as the 3rd worst in Africa over the last 10 years. But this is a case where the track ended. I mean, eventually somebody cuts the track and then it derails. Well, if you are thinking of traveling to Cameroon, now Cameroon has banned the smoking of shisha pipes, saying it poses a health risk to mostly young people who use it in bars and at home. Now, about 46% of young Cameroonians smoke the substance, according to Health Ministry, which is typically a mix of tobacco, molasses, glycerin, and flavorings. Now, doctors say there is a misconception that the shishas are not as harmful as cigarettes, and the British Heart Foundation says an hour-long shisha session can be the equivalent of smoking more than 100 cigarettes. My goodness. Well, these are all stories making the rounds. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before we go on to Ghana, now more than 50 people are feared to have been killed in clashes in western Ethiopia after an armed group ambushed a convoy in Benishangul Gumuz. Reuters says the attack happened in early March near the town of Metikel. The Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said at least 20 soldiers were killed in the ambush and 30 of the attackers were reported to have died in the ensuing firefight. More people were subsequently killed in what is feared to have been summary killings against suspects. Now, one of those killed was a man burnt alive. A video of the incident was shared on social media, leading the commission to investigate the incident. The Rights Commission said the security forces blamed the Benishangul attack on ethnic Tigrayan passengers who were traveling on a bus. It adds security officers arrested the men along with 2 others from the local Gumuz ethnic group. The men were beaten and tortured before their bodies were burned. Well, there is no peace across the globe, but every generation seems to blame the one before. But what do you think? It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to the ruling by the Supreme Court on the deputy speaker's voting, there seems to be a banter when it comes to the opposition and the ruling government. Now, the former President John Mahama has advised the applicants in the Supreme Court ruling on the deputy speaker's voting right during proceedings to seek review. According to him, he cannot fathom how the deputy speaker can have dual voting rights when presiding over a session in the chamber. The first vote in most cases taken on a motion in Parliament is a voice vote. The presiding officer, whether the speaker or any of his deputy speakers, is supposed to listen to which is the loudest, the ayes or the nays, and make a determination. Now, if the deputy speaker are allowed to vote, then they must take part first in the voice vote. If you are presiding and can shout A or nay with your party in the voice vote, how do you impartially determine which was the loudest? The former president quizzed in a Facebook post on Sunday. He also questioned what will be the rationale behind the ruling of the Apex Court of the land behind the land, adding the judgment is leading us to the realm of absurdity. Now, with the determination of the Supreme Court, the deputy speakers can shout A or nay with the side they agree or disagree with in the voice vote. Now, the Supreme Court is leading us into the realm of absurdity. The judgment is regrettable, and I look forward to the applicant applying for a review of this ruling, he advocated. But do you think the review, if there is any review, can bring about any different ruling from what we have at the moment? What do you think? Well, when it comes to elections, well, Ablekuma West MPP polls turns bloody. So what is happening there? Let me bring you some details of that. Now, supporters of the new Patriotic Party in Ablekuma West constituency have pointed fingers at the chairman of their election committee, Odai Parker, after violence broke out during polling station executives election in the area yesterday. An aspiring vice chairman, Kingsford Amake, was allegedly assaulted by thugs during the polls. It is unclear who invited the alleged thugs to the polls. Images and videos from the scene show the alleged thugs beating the vice chairman aspirant who sustained injuries to his head in the attack. The supporters say the conduct of the election committee chair is against the party's constitution, calling for sanctions on him. Now, do you think anything different is going to happen? And what are we looking at when it comes to the next election? If this one is even a home run by themselves and this is what they are doing, what do you think when it comes to having other political parties involved in it? What do you think will happen on that front? It is all coming away from Star Radio UK, 12:22 the time. In the next few minutes, I'll be taking you straight to the first part of the program will be brought to close, and then we'll take you straight to Cyprus, where we have HRH in the Parliament who will be joining us today. But let me see whether I can touch on one other story before we do so. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagben, has described as myopic President Akufo-Addo's comment on the Supreme Court ruling on the Deputy Speaker's voting right. According to the Speaker, he has resisted the temptation of commenting on the judgment of the Supreme Court on the issue, but the unfortunate and myopic comment of the President has compelled me to let it out. The Supreme Court decision is, to say the least, not only an absurdity but a reckless incursion into the remit of Parliament. The trend of unanimity is equally troubling. It doesn't help explore and expand our legal jurisprudence, he added. Now, Mr. Bagben also noted that the President should know that the issue is not about which organ is above the law and who is not, rather the question of political doctrine. The President's comment is myopic and unfortunate. It only goes to worsen the schism between the executive and Parliament. The impartiality of the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, or presiding officer has been pressured and fought by this country throughout our democratic development. Mr. President, he said, the issue being discussed is not about Parliament being above the law. Everyone knows that Parliament is not above the law. The executive and the judiciary are equally not above the law. The issue being discussed is the political question doctrine. It took centuries to detail out the strands of this doctrine, and the principles are settled as to when and how this closed book could be opened, he added. Now, President, he made these remarks that President Akufo-Addo has said Parliament is not above the law. He made these remarks when commenting on the Supreme Court ruling that whether the deputy speakers can vote and be part of the quorum of the for decision making whilst presiding over affairs in Parliament. The Apex Court on Wednesday, the 9th of March, ruled that the deputy speaker, when presiding, can exercise a vote contrary to Standing Order 13 of Parliament. And that is quite a serious thing if it should take place. It's a serious thing because how can you be a referee and at the same time be a player and say you are being fair? Don't you want your side to win? You want your side to win. And that is why they are not supposed to be part of any voting that is taking place whilst they are in the seat of presiding over a hearing in Parliament. Well, what do you think? Is the President right? Is Alban Bagben too strong? What is he doing? It is on Starr Radio UK. Now let's talk about Baker Vemawo and the reaction from citizen vigilante. Now, charging Baker Vemawo with treason for first time in court was unconstitutional and unethical ambush. Now, former Special Prosecutor Martin Amido had criticized the manner in which the Fix the Country movement lead convener Oliver Baker Vemawo was charged with treason felony by the police. Now, according to the former Attorney General, charging Mr. Baker Vemawo with treason felony on his first appearance in court is an unconstitutional and unethical ambush. He added that it was an abuse of the investigatory and prosecutorial discretion of the executive branch of the government informing the suspect and his lawyers for the first time in the courtroom. He said the nature of the charge in the courtroom even shocked Mr. Akoto Ampao, the lawyer leading the suspect's defense team, to the extent that he is quoted by the Daily Graphic Online on the 14th February 2022 to have said that until this morning it was a misdemeanor only to appear in court and be told he is being charged with treason felony, which has no factual basis. Now, what do you think about all these issues that is going on? Well, this is what is going on in Ghana at the moment. Some of them, of course. But tomorrow, God willing, we'll be looking at some other stories when we have most time on our hands. But now, we're going to take a break. And once we come back, we will be looking at what our own HRH Linda Pallian has for us on Career 101. Enjoy this tune, The Living Years.
Blames the one before, and all of their frustrations beating on your door. I know that I'm a prisoner to all my father held so dear. I know that I'm a hostage to all his hopes and fears. I just wish I could have told him in the living years. Oh, crumpled bits of paper filled with imperfect thoughts. Oh, still the conversations. I'm afraid that's all you got. You say you just don't see it. He says it's perfect sense. You just can't get agreement in his present tense. You'll talk a different language, talking in defense. Say it loud, say it clear. You can listen as well as you hear. It's too late when we die to admit we don't see eye to eye. So we open up a quarrel.
Okay. So thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us on Star Radio UK. We are all set to bring you HRH Linda Palian all the way from Cyprus. And today we are looking at the cancel culture. Now this is a case where because of the Russia-Ukraine incident that's going on, or war that seems to be going on at the moment, we have oligarchs who are being sanctioned. We have Abramovich, who, one of the best teams in the country at the moment, Chelsea, because of his association with Putin, now has been taken off as the head of that, or the owner of that. Eventually even put it on market to sell and say that he was going to donate the revenue from that to the people of Ukraine and stuff like that. But well, it has not gone down well. So when it comes to cancel culture, when somebody does somebody that we loved some moment ago, and then something happens, and then we think that well, this time around we're not going to be being or accepting that president. Because of that, we just write the person off because of something, a statement that the person has made. Well, cancel culture for you. Let's go to HRH Linda Palian all the way in Cyprus. These are the books that she has published, and I will tell you that make sure you get your hands on it. Stay tuned. Over to you, Linda. We're looking at this afternoon, lady.
But this afternoon, we're looking at one of the most topical and contested subjects of this time, which is cancel culture and the impact of cancel culture on careers and businesses.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Okay. Well, cancel culture. Maybe you've heard of all that, and you are maybe experiencing something in that nature. So you want to know more? You want to know more about that? Just stay with us whilst we have Linda to throw more light on it. And as and when you have any questions, you can just put them through and I'll pose it to her. If not, at the close of the program, she's going to put her details there as well. You can get in touch with her because there are a lot of things that she's got up her sleeve that if you don't ask, you wouldn't know. But well, that's what we are delivering this afternoon. Over to you, cancel culture. What is it all about?
Fantastic. So cancel culture, when I think cancel culture is more of an American term, but of course it happens worldwide. This is where, due to the practice of withdrawing support for a particular person due to their actions or behavior. So, for example, in the UK, we have all of the protests against Boris resigning. We've got Djokovic. Various celebrities have gone through some form of cancel culture, and it seems to be getting more and more rampant, especially during the last few years with the pandemic upon us and people having perhaps too much time on their hands, free time, or maybe because we're more socially active. This is primarily on social media, maybe because we're more socially active as well. We're seeing a lot more of these things than we would if things were before the pandemic. So I just wanted to discuss this because, of course, how does it affect businesses? It's not just celebrities anymore. Anybody could have a bad experience. I mean, this isn't totally new thing. It's as old as giving reviews on TripAdvisor or whatever it is. But it seems to be getting more and more common.
Yeah.
People experience different things and different views are shared. So I wanted us to discuss it. If you're in the position that some of this might affect you or affect your employer or somewhere you work for, how does that shape you in terms of building your career? And I know a lot of people are now a bit too scared to speak up because you just never know who's the opinion.
Yeah.
And twisted in a way that you need a whole PR team to even get out of that one. So I think it's very important for careers to discuss that. Now we'll talk about cancel culture. So critics have said, or people that study cancel culture have said, it's a form of social activism, or it's almost like a vote as well, because when you like, support, follow someone on social media, you are giving them your support.
Yeah.
And actually, when you decide to unfollow them or call for them to be cancelled, it's you exercising your right and exhibiting your feelings on their behavior or what they've done and what it stands for. It's a very interesting topic to me, and it's one of these that you have to tread lightly as well.
Yes, of course.
Regardless of your views on a particular opinion, it's what's the best way to go about doing that. As an individual, a lot of our listeners might not be in the position where their jobs are necessarily rioted against if it needs to be cancelled. But how do you express your opinion without jeopardizing your job or your position? So the first thing is how it's done. Whether you're going to make a claim backed by evidence. If you're going to get involved in this discussion on social media, it's the words that are used, whether it's condemning or more critical, and where you get your evidence from as well. Whether your argument is well researched, or if it's jumping on a bandwagon. So if you're going to get involved in these are some of the things that you need to consider. How this comes across and who's viewing it as well. Do your bosses or your stakeholders, that's people you work with or people that you depend on to support you, whether it's customers, do they have access to this? And does it come across as constructive rather than destructive? And what's the impact on your company or the employees you're working for? And if it might be construed as a public opinion rather than or corporate opinion rather than an individual opinion, and if it's worth even making that distinction.
Let me quickly just ask a question there. Listeners, you're listening to Career 101 on Star Radio UK with our own HRH Linda Palian all the way in Cyprus. And today we are looking at cancel culture. Now, how do you relate that to whistleblowers? How do you relate that to whistleblowers?
That's interesting. A whistleblower, as I understand it, will be someone that calls out something that they strongly believe in.
Okay.
And in a way that's similar to cancel culture.
Okay.
But I guess the difference between whistleblowing is backing it by facts. And standing up for something that you believe in. It's not necessarily the most popular content.
Yeah.
But I think cancel culture is more. Well, it's very similar, right?
Yeah. They seem to cross paths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the most popular whistleblower we know is Julian Assange with WikiLeaks, and sometimes we care about what's being released, and sometimes it's so far not related to your day to day that you don't care.
Yeah.
So I think whistleblowers is actually a profession, going into details.
Really?
And almost truth seeking.
Yeah. Investigative journalism.
There you go. Whereas cancel culture is something like it's almost joining in the public debate.
Okay. All right, listeners, let's go back to Linda. Let her continue. Over to you, Linda, please.
So in your career, exactly, and it's not necessarily bad to take part in this, because we know that if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And actually, if you want to build a good personal brand, you should take a personal interest and a professional interest in issues that affect your field of business. So it's sometimes it's necessary to be involved or to give an opinion or to join the discussion about a particular topic in the workplace. But it becomes harmful when it's gone too far, or if you're seen to be perhaps not accommodating of different opinions. And I think a lot of people, and I've seen this a lot, is they want to engage in a discussion, but it's not necessarily a discussion. It's I'm going to tell you how wrong you are, and then try and impose my opinions on you.
Yeah.
Lots of debate in modern society, and with the political debate, it's. A lot of it has resorted to cheap and low blows, rather than arguing a point and actively listening for the other person's perspective, and then agreeing to disagree, or if you've been won over, admitting you have a point there. That doesn't happen anymore, and our leaders don't even set this example anymore.
Yeah.
It's really hard to blame this on the younger generation.
Well, I beg to differ there. I think the younger generation are the ones who are very fast when it comes to their fingers, just typing everything.
But that's the thing, they've learned it because our leaders haven't set good examples.
Okay.
A few years back, we had debate societies, and that's common. And you learned how to communicate.
Yeah.
Without making it personally, without attacking someone personally.
Yes.
I mean, this is a while ago, but even Trump's debate when he was getting into office.
Yeah.
That was just
Okay.
So anyway, the weekend I saw this protest with the Boris.
The Partygate issue. Yeah.
And there was a guy there that took his mask off, and I think that we're going maybe too far with cancel.
Yeah.
Okay, someone does something wrong. we call them out on it, does that really affect their integrity of
the person or
of their ability to rule? And do we have a suitable replacement if we do that? You know, we're up for tear them down, but we don't see anyone queuing to do this.
Who's going to replace them? Who's going to work or do what they are doing? The good deeds. How is it going to be reckoned? They don't look at that at all.
Exactly. So if you're going to get involved in cancel culture, it's important to come from more of an intellectual and a holistic form of thinking. And of course, everyone makes mistakes as well. You know, and I think, and this is why everyone's so afraid to become a public figure these days. You know, because it's easy for people to go through your past and interpret something just to make a point. I'll give you an example. I have a cousin of mine who is part of the lawmakers. He's an economist in Washington, and they're trying to pass a bill about taxes, how to reform the tax system. And he went into this panel of these different parties because, of course, they're about to vote for it. And he was surprised to find that they'd gone into his past and all the papers he's published before and trying to discredit him just because he's the economist who's done the maths about
and say that what they are going to do is not going to work out. So yes, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad.
And I think that's what we should be thinking about. You know, like I mean, there's so many examples these days. J.K. Rowling, Noam Chomsky, whoever. You know, so whether we're I think, just to summarize the argument, it's are we trying to squash opposing ideas and be encouraging intolerance and normative thinking, or are we open for discussion and helping these different perspectives that are necessary for social progress? And if you find yourself in that situation in your career, then this is why it's important to align whatever you do with your values, because if you feel so strongly about it, like some of these celebrities have, regardless of whether they're being cancelled or deported or whatever, they still stand by their values. If you're not ready to stand by your decision, then maybe think before.
Think again before you embark on it.
Going all the way. And if you're going to go all the way, I think people respect people that have strong opinions. So whether it's not, even if it's not the public opinion, if you have strong feelings about it and strong arguments for it, then be prepared to stand by what you believe in until the bitter end. You know, and you won't be the first person that's died for their beliefs. You know, Jesus died for his beliefs, and so did Socrates, and a lot of other people.
Okay, listeners, let's continue with the discussions. I know it's gone past one, but it's quite an interesting discussion we're having today, looking at cancel culture. Just bear with us. Don't go away. Linda will continue with it. Over to you, Linda.
Okay. So to summarize, it's important to remember the price that someone's paying for their beliefs, you know, and how it might affect them, you know. And again, this goes with cancel culture, what you say on social media, but also reviews you leave. You know, so someone might have bad customer service and completely slate someone's character online and attack their family, and you have no idea what they're going through. And then, of course, when you receive a refund, you're not going to go back and eat your words on social media. Most people forget about it. So it's important to think of the effect of what you support, the effect what you're supporting has to the all the way through, and whether it's worth doing it. There's nothing wrong with expressing your opinion or having strong opinions about a particular behavior or society or a particular behavior or belief, but it's when you rally everyone else against them or try and twist other people using your influence just because you're in that position, that's when it becomes a bit detrimental to social progress. It's really important to understand where you stand on it, how it affects your career, and also not be afraid to stand up if it's a core of your values or it's core to your beliefs. I think it's a great thing to be able to have strong principles and stand by them.
Well, listeners, cancel culture. Are you ready to stand or prepared to stand by what you believe in? I mean, and even when you are doing that, I call it castigating somebody. Do you think that just looking at, I mean, as the what do you call it, the literature, the laureate wrote, what do you call him, where he said that the good deeds of men are written on water, but the bad deeds are written on brass. So the people just start and then that's what the person did, but they've forgotten about all the good deeds that you have done. But when you're doing that thing, you have to think and think through. How is it going to even impact you yourself in the future? Because one day you might go to a panel and they said, well, we cannot employ you because you are somebody who just pills and just goes on that part and just destroying people. What about that? I'm not saying that don't, I mean, when somebody does something wrong, don't call the person out. No, that's not what we are saying. But at times, we have to give people the benefit of the doubt, because if you were in the same particular place, we might have done worse off. But what do you think? Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, HRH Linda Palian. I know she summed everything up, but a quick one. So if somebody finds themselves in such a situation, what do you think they should do?
I think let's look at the whole picture. I think that's the best advice. The whole picture of, can I afford to be in this position? Can I afford to put my values first? If you're in the position that has the strong opinion, and for every opinion you have, every view that you have, you'll have people that support you and people against. So not being afraid to stand up and for what you believe in. Sorry, I just noticed there's some construction going on around me.
Yeah, it's okay.
So not being able to stand up, afraid to stand up for what you believe in, but also if you're the one that has strong opinions against or for a particular school of thought, to do that in a way that you can still keep your dignity and do that in a respectful way, the way that encourages a healthy debate, if anything, rather than a witch hunt.
Okay, now listeners, there is a book, or there are a set of books that you need when it comes to your career. Maybe even this, it's a lecture that is going on, but she has a way of capturing every one of these in the book. So, well, these are the books for you, and Linda is going to talk about it to you as well. Get your hands on it. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. So, if you're thinking about your career, evaluating where you are, looking at the next step, or changing career completely, these are great resources for you. There's 3 books, and it depends on where you are. The first book, How to Career, is an overview of picking the right career, reassessing your career, where am I at, is this the right step for me, and how to move on from that. Career Success is the second book, which is a holistic how to progress in a chosen career. After you've chosen your career, how to get to the next level, how to leave a legacy, how to stand by your values, how to market yourself. So Career Success is really having that career and making it a success and a masterpiece. And of course, the third book, which is the Career Workbook, evaluates all of these things. It's a self-help workbook for your career, so you can personalize your progression plan. You have something to show for it, so you put it all in one place. And it gives you an overview of where you are at now, a snapshot view of where you are at in your career, and the next steps of how to make it what you need it to be.
Okay. So those are the books for you. The career, the Ultimate Career Workbook. Yes, get your hands on that, and How to Career and Career Success. Please make sure you get your hands on that. It will help you a great deal. But Linda, before we go, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do so?
Absolutely. The books are available on Amazon UK, amazon.co.uk.com, also in Europe, Amazon Germany.de. You can find them on Waterstones online. You can find them on Book Depository and any other online books. If you search Career by Linda Pallian, you'll find these books. And also you can contact me directly on my website, lindapallian.com. If you have any questions, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, if you want to evaluate your career, of course I do that complimentary as well. So if you want to chat about your career, definitely you can contact me on my website, lindapallian.com, or on social media at Linda Pallian.
Okay. Linda, let me say a massive thank you very much for this wonderful presentation that you've done today.
My pleasure, and sorry about being late.
Yes, that has been Linda Pallian for you. Yes, a lot more of the topics that we've discussed. If you go to our podcast at Starr Radio UK podcast session, you can get it all there for you. Today we talked about cancel culture, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. But hey, the books are still available. Go to all the points, the areas that she said she didn't mention that you can get it from, and get your hands on it, and read it. It will help you a great deal. You want to give somebody a gift, you know what? Buy one for them. It's a very, very good gift. Okay, when it comes to jobs or your career, I call it the Bible for your career. What about that? Okay, so on that note, we are bringing the program to a close. Yes, we are bringing the program to a close. God willing, this afternoon we'll be bringing you On Point with Regina Nima, and then this evening there'll be the Conscious Reggae Time with Dave West as well. Pre-recorded version of it will be coming your way as well. So on that note, I say thank you very much for tuning in once again to join us on this platform. Have a lovely day, enjoy yourself, but you know what? Keep safe. And I ask the question once again, where is the love with everything that is going on? Would you open your doors for our brethren who are in dire straits, looking for a place just to keep themselves or lay their heads? Well, what about that? Enjoy this song, a cover version of the Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love? And when it ends, you don't hear from me, tomorrow I'll come your way, God willing, with another edition of the morning show. It's with me, Archie, and I say bye-bye for now.
People killing, people dying, children hurting, hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, help us. Send some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love? What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. Think the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring you trauma. Overseas, yeah, we're trying to stop terrorism, but we still
Thanks for listening.
Turn it on. Turn it up. Only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate. To discriminate only generates hate. When you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Man, this is what you demonstrate. That's exactly how anger works and operates. Man, you gotta have love, this'll set us straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to love. People killing,